Welcome to a Friday Reads, where I talk about what I've read, what I'm reading, what I hope to get to next, and any random life updates I choose to throw in there. These are just really fun, informal check-ins for me that I do every Friday, and I don't think I've formally addressed this sweater yet. I think it's been in videos, but I finished my cardigan. So it doesn't have buttons yet, technically, but I did give it buttonholes. I'm just lazy, and I'm never gonna use the buttons. Like, they'll be functional, but I never like button cardigans. But I'm so happy with it. Like, I don't know if you guys can see, if I turn around the design in the back, I'm just really pleased. I'm pleased with the entire process of making this, and yeah, I've already purchased yarn, and actually hopefully today, when you're seeing this, my new batch of yarn comes in, because I'm going to try color work. We'll see how that goes. That's probably a sweater I won't get to wear till next year, though, because life. Now, what am I reading? It's been a new month. I have dived into some things. I think I'm in the middle of 3 things right now. So unlike January, where I started like 7 things and just never stopped, we're a little more reasonable, and I'm really into 2 of the things that I'm reading. The first one that I'm not as into is Winter's Heart by Robert Jordan. I am 6% of the way through the book, but only half of the way through the prologue, because that's how prologues work. This prologue's going to be 12% of the book. That's something. I'm not like not enjoying it. I'm the same level that I've been the entire time. I don't have much to say. Nothing much has happened. It was kind of cool reading it after like the blizzard last weekend, so that was a thing. But one that I am enjoying, and it's pretty exciting because for me, I have been searching for a Stephen King book that I will enjoy reading, and that is Lisey's Story. We're doing this as a buddy read on my Patreon. We're already like chatting in the Discord, and I'm making my spoiler vlog, and I am almost done with the first part, which is about the first 4 chapters, about 100 some pages in. And I really like it. I think also this is the first Stephen King I've done on audio and also with a female main character. And I think both of those things are partially why this is working for me better than other King stories. Most of the King stories I've read up to this point had male protagonists, and not that they were poorly crafted or anything, I just didn't like how they thought sometimes, or I don't know. There are some that I like. This has been so long I can't even remember. Like, I read Insomnia by Stephen King 13 years ago. I cannot tell you what happened. I just remember balloons and strings. It was weird. So I am enjoying Lisey as a character. Her family is really messy. I didn't know this would be a story about grief and exploring that, but I like stories that focus on that as a theme. And the creepy factors are creepy, and I'm intrigued, and I think the intrigue and suspense has so far been doled out at the appropriate pace, and I've been immersion reading it with the audiobook and the physical because my audiobook is not lined up with the ebook. Like, I think the audiobook used to be CDs that were digitalized, which is fine, but that means it's split into parts. And if you've ever read a King book, there are parts sometimes, and then there are chapters, and then within the chapters, there are sub-chapters. So my audiobook switched to part 2 at subsection 5 of chapter 2 and part 1 of the ebook. So getting my bearings there was interesting, but I'm enjoying immersion reading it a lot. So fingers crossed this keeps going. I'm only, I think, like 20% of the way in, but I'm engaged. I'm intrigued. It's still like very much like King likes to use certain styles when he writes and when he's like writing like how someone thinks, and some of it works really well for me, and other times I'm jarred, but I think it's intentional. So it's an experience, and one that I'm actually enjoying for the first time in a really long time. So the other book that I'm currently reading and really enjoying, and I feel like no one's surprised when I mention this in the Discord, is The Vanished Birds. This, I might need to buy myself a copy. Like, I don't even think it's at my bookstore. I think it's just one of those sci-fi books that was very under the radar in the year it came out, which was 2020. So wasn't an amazing year to have your book come out. I am really liking it. So the first chapter felt like a really well-crafted short story, and then someone in my Discord told me that it is a short story, and that makes complete sense. But even then, like in the first part, so this is another book split into parts. I've read the first part, and there are 2 other parts. You meet a bunch of characters, and at first you're just existing in this world and being introduced to certain sci-fi concepts, but also just seeing slice of life stuff. But there is this overarching like mystery, not like a traditional mystery, but like I was engaged with this thought of who is this person, why is this person important. That was my mystery, and the payoff of that in this first part's been really interesting, especially with, in such a short amount of time, how attached I've been to so many characters and interpersonal relationships, and how well I understand this world. And I haven't figured out how to describe why I like the writing, but I really like the writing. The writing is like butter to me. It works really well. I can tell that it's stylized in a specific way that probably won't work for everyone, but I'm not very good at figuring out what works for me and what doesn't work for other people. But in general, it's a book where I'm really loving the way this author forms sentences and the way that they muse about things. This is, of course, also one of those sci-fi books that really looks at the end of Earth. This one more from a climate perspective. And I've read a lot of those lately. This is the third one in 2022, not including short stories that have exposed me to this in Ken Liu's Paper Menagerie. And then there's another one that just got released in January that I now kind of want to read. And maybe I'll do a whole video comparing and contrasting these books that all have very similar themes. And it makes sense. Sci-fi has always captured a moment that it's written in, and we have a lot of climate change thoughts in our mind, a lot of pandemic thoughts. Like, it makes sense. It's just a lot that I've read in a short period of time. But this one, so the one I'm thinking about that was a dystopian adult, Goliath, that my review went up Monday, and everyone who watched it, thank you so much. I worked so hard on that review, and it's just really nice that people were watching it. But Goliath is definitely more harsh reality, harrowing, not necessarily super bleak and depressing, but it's not exactly hopeful either. Whereas this one, I think it has a better balance of hope and depression and things like that. I don't know. I'm only in the first part, but I'm really liking it. And that buddy read with Laura is going fantastically. I hope it keeps up. This could be like my first 5-star sci-fi of the year, and that would make me so happy. So those are the things that I'm reading. I don't know what I'll pick up next. I don't know what mood I am in. So on my TBR, I think I would like to knock out the March new release that was my patron's TBR pick, because that's a short one. So that might be on the docket. I have a week before I need to pick up Blanca y Roja, so I don't have to do that right away. And there is the anthology Reclaim the Stars that I do want to pick up. So that's stuff that's on my radar, but I haven't really thought far past these books that are in front of me right now. There is also a part of me that's you didn't put it on the TBR, but why not read it to Bone Hunters by Steven Erikson? Because a bunch of my friends posted a Malazan video this week, I'll link it down below, that just really got me in the mood after especially finishing Midnight Tides last week. It is completely spoiler-free. They just talk about their experience reading it, and there are no plot or character spoilers. And I think even if there were, and even if you've read the books, I don't know if it makes sense, but there really weren't. It's a great video with amazing booktubers in it. So I don't know what I'm reading next. That's basically it. And then the show I've been watching is Witcher, because I've just been wanting to rewatch Witcher for some reason. Some housekeeping notes, though. This weekend, on Saturday, I am in 2 lives. And one of them is for The Girl in the Tower. I think that's right behind me. Yes, right here. That's going to be on Evie's channel. She Was Only Evie. We're going to discuss this amazing sequel in that series. I can't remember everyone who will be there. I know Leanna's going to be there, and I think Stephanie. I don't know. It's going to be a great panel of people. You should definitely stop by, especially if you've read and loved that book. And then in the afternoon, I am doing the Nonfiction Book Club with Jess Owens. It's at 2 p.m. at Eastern Standard Time. We are discussing Mediocre, and there will be a lot to discuss. And even if you haven't read the book, I would show up. I think we're going to have a lot of really great conversation. So that's what's happening for me this weekend. I've actually quite overbooked myself. Hopefully the following weekend I won't be as busy. I love doing lives, but it's a lot. It's a lot. So that's basically where I've been at. I actually forgot to show you guys a book that I hauled back in January. So I'm going to show you guys here, but I've had this on my shelf since I was 3 stories into the Paper Menagerie, and that's The Hidden Girl by Ken Liu, because I just need to read Ken Liu stuff. I don't really know what this is about. I've actually seen this book at my bookstore for a couple years now, and I like it because, look, there's no inset. Oh, this book's kind of a little damaged, but that's okay. I can live with it. But there's no inset, and normally I'm not a polka dots person, but I don't mind this. I think this is good, so excited to read that. So those are all of the things. I'm excited to film the video after this. I finally prepared my releases that came out in January and like compiling all the thoughts. I don't know what title I have landed on for that series. I have some ideas, but keep an eye out for that. That's probably coming out next week. And just as a heads up, I haven't committed to changing my current upload schedule, but I am starting to feel stressed and potentially a little burnt out. So I may switch to 2 uploads a week, but I don't know if I'll ever like officially say it. I think some weeks if I want to do 3, I'll do 3, and some weeks if I do 2, I'll do 2. But they'll always be the Friday video, and then I'll figure it out from there. I'm just letting you guys know, just it's where my brain's at. I defend in a month. Like of filming this, it's March 2nd. I defend February 2nd. Today is February 2nd. My brain is dead. I defend March 2nd. And I looked at the price of regalia today. Take whatever number you think it costs and multiply it by 10, because that's what I had to do. And I had a pretty high number already. So I will not be buying my regalia. I will be renting it, which is still absurdly expensive for clothing you only wear once. Like, absurd. But if you made it this far and you would like to leave an emoji, leave a bird for the Vanishing Birds. Is that what it's called? The Vanished Birds? I've read a lot of vanishing blank books recently. And let me know what you're reading, doing this weekend. Am I going to see you at either of the lives, or are you going to have to watch them later? And like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.